Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today we're going to be unboxing and comparing the PartyCity Rattles to the new At Home Mini Rattles. Alright, so this guy was just seen in stores literally like 2 days ago, and there wasn't really much info on him before that. But now that he's appearing in stores, I had to go check, and literally right as I got there, they were bringing multiple of him out. One already was put on hold, and this was the other one. So I got him, and I want to compare him to the real Rattles here. I have a spot for both of them, especially because they have their slight differences. You can see on the boxes. This one's a bit more cartoony and happy, and also larger, obviously here. This one is the smaller one from At Home, and it's got more of a scary face. It's got a tilted head. One arm is reaching out at you. So definitely some cool differences there. I'm excited to see how they compare when they're set up. So let's start with normal Rattles. We'll put them up real quick, and then we'll get to the new one. All right, so let's start here with our normal Rattles. Let's open this thing up, and we'll see it again. So this guy was used in my haunt last year. He's amazing. This is actually in one of my videos, I said one of my favorites of all time for retail. It is definitely a contender for first place. It's really, really close. This thing is a perfect prop. It's super weatherproof, and it's huge. And I definitely love the huge props. Here's his hand right there, along with the arm. We'll do this one quick because I have already unboxed him before. There's his head. Got another arm piece attached to a hand. We've got his shoulder and neck, and finally his giant rib cage. All right, so this guy has a very quick and easy setup. Let's get this arm in. All right, arm is in. The rest of his arm and hand just sit on the ground. We've got his other arm. There we go. We've got his neck, and finally his head. All right, so now let's begin with this one. I have not taken out the parts yet. They're all still wrapped. There's actually some boxes right here. So let's see what's all in here. We have his neck. Now, it's definitely smaller, but there's some differences here. As you can see, it's curved. That's because his head's tilted. Really cool. I really like that. I think the next thing we should take out is actually his head. So let's compare the different sizes here. As you can see, it's still massive. And one thing I want to mention right away, this thing is half the price as Rattles. So if you can't afford Rattles, or if you can't afford to store something this massive, this is an awesome alternative. All right, so looking at the head comparison, definitely smaller, still huge. Not the biggest difference. There's probably from chin to the top, probably like, yeah, it's not even a foot, half a foot difference. So it's still huge. We actually have a manual inside of here. I wasn't going to open this because this was just stakes, but I do want to see what that manual looks like. This is what it looks like. It's just a sheet of paper printed. As you can see, there's the setup instructions. It's going to be the exact same as Rattles, so we will not need these. Here we have the first hand. Here's a main difference. That is definitely a very different looking hand. If we compare these are the same side hands, definitely very different, as you can see. I really like this one. This one kind of looks more like the 12-foot skeleton hands. It's a bit less cartoony. I love Rattles' cartoony look, so for him, I like that. But this one being the kind of scarier one, this is pretty awesome. Now what I'm hoping for is, because as you can see, the other hand here is up, I'm hoping there's a way that that stays up without having to stake it in the ground, but we'll see. I believe this is a filler box. We have a shoulder piece, and there is our answer right there. Do not need to stick it in the ground. There you go. Sticks right up out of the ground with those pegs. Other shoulder, other hand, and this is the one that breaks out of the ground, so he's really reaching up there because that is a tall hand. And finally, we have his rib cage. All right, so let's begin with the setup. We have his left arm over here. All right, there we go. Something I'm noticing is they kept the same thickness of plastic, even though the parts are way smaller, so these feel really high quality. This thing does too, but these feel even nicer. All right, so the arm then slides down there, and that looks awesome. This thing is really reaching out at people. We've got his other arm here, and there's actually arrows telling you exactly what angle you want to put these in, which is nice because I didn't notice that on him. We've got his other arm that just sits here. We have the tilted neck, and we have his head. All right, both setups are complete. I absolutely love both of these. Let's get a closer look for both. All right, so starting over here, let's look at Rattles. Rattles is Party City last year, and he's coming back this year. And I believe they actually lowered his price from what he was. Originally, he was $400 when I got him. Now I believe it is lowered. I'm not sure if it's staying that way, but definitely good news because I still think 400 is worth it because this, again, is one of my favorites of all time. But seeing it even lower is going to make it available for a lot more people. The only problem was he's hard to find, especially because everyone loves him, so they pick him up as soon as the stores get him. So definitely a hard time finding this guy, but when you do, it's worth it. Moving over to this guy, amazing. This guy is definitely going to be easier to find. Still, like I said in the beginning, the one was on hold, and I picked up the second one the first day they got him. So still, you're going to want to rush to get them, but I'm hoping they're a bit more accessible compared to how quick these have been going. Storage, definitely this guy is great. Rattles has a huge box. It's comparable to a 12-foot box. This guy, definitely more a life-size, a large life-size character size box. So much better for storage-wise, but both aren't the worst. Like I said, it's not quite a 12-foot skeleton box for him, but both have big boxes. That one definitely wins for storage. Now the look of both great, but I would have to say this one definitely has more realism and more like real alive feel to it. The way it's tilting its head, I just love the facial expression. Definitely fits the Halloween theme a bit more than the cartoony skeleton. And I love this arm that's reaching up at you. This one kind of feels like it's already in the attacking state, while Rattles over here kind of feels like he's still breaking out of the ground. The detail on both of these is great. The rib cage definitely could use some paint, but other than that, the faces look perfectly fine. They're skeletons, so the overall color scheme would be fairly white like this. They could also use some dirt if you wanted. I kind of like the clean look though. They feel a bit like the Transworld, like professional blow molded or fiberglass section to me. So I kind of like that, especially for photo ops, but could use a bit of customizing, doesn't 100% need it, but detail for both of these are basically the same as you can see. Now price, this guy was $400 when I got it, but like I said, he went down. This guy being $220 definitely makes it available to a lot more people, and I think that's super fair for the size difference. There really isn't a detail or quality difference, so it's mainly just about the size and shipping prices, I'm guessing. So that one seems like it should definitely be more, but I think both are priced fairly. There honestly isn't one I would recommend over the other. If you have storage room and the money for the big Rattles, then that is a good choice. But if you want the scarier looking one and maybe don't have the money or the storage for something that huge, then this might be a better option. They definitely both have their pros and cons, but both are amazing props, and I can't wait to use them in the hunt. I already have a plan for both of them, and they're going to be good photo op sections as well, both of them. All right, so there it was, the unboxing and comparison of the At Home Rattles versus the Party City Rattles. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.